Hi, Cancer Sun and Rising. Welcome to your December 2025 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, last month of the year, I'm recording this on the 9th of November. And because I tend to post my astrology videos in the first half of the prior month, a lot of you will probably be tuning in then. So, I want to call attention to a transit that's happening on the last day of November because it's almost in December, and that is that Venus is going into Sagittarius. And for Cancer, Sagittarius is your sixth house. It's a very practical place, which is funny because the sign of Sagittarius is not like a practical sign, if you will. Fire is not practical. It's very idealistic and very creative and things like that. I'm a sun in Sagittarius. A Cancer person, a Cancer person might value a more grounded approach, and the sixth house is ruled by Virgo, which is very harmonious with Cancer, earth and water. So you look at the house when you have a transit and it supersedes the sign that it's in. It's really important, the house, for these transits. And it's Venus here. So this could be Venus rules two houses in astrology, the second in Taurus and money, and the seventh, Libra, relationships. So Venus, what do we think of when we think of Venus? We usually think of love, we usually think of beauty. But we should think of money because that's one of the big ones. And in the sixth house, since this is the house of employment, the house of your health and your daily routine, and Venus being such a benefic, harmonious influence, something is going to be giving you greater ease in this department. I call this the Vitamix transit because it's the house of health, and Venus being the ruler of the second house in astrology, it can be possessions, but it can be luxury items. And a Vitamix is considered a luxury item of sorts. I have one, the Cadillac of blenders, let's put it that way. And it basically, I was just thinking of the Virgo connection to the sixth house and how it's, to me, about natural foods, about like vegetarianism, herbalism, things like that, earthy matters. And so you may be investing in some kind of a high end type of health thing to enhance your health. Maybe it's even like some sort of exercise equipment. I don't know. But that is happening at the end of November. Also, Venus with love could be like some kind of person in the workplace that you decide to have a relationship with. Also, the sixth house can be coworkers, and you may be experiencing harmony with your coworkers. On the 4th of December, we have a full moon at 13 degrees of Gemini. This is your 12th house. The 12th house is all about the unconscious mind and past lives. And so there's a karmic connection. This full moon in Taurus was in my 12th house, and my God, I was like, are you sure that wasn't a lunar eclipse? I mean, I don't know if anybody experienced some supercharged events or what have you at that Taurus supermoon, but I don't know if this was because it was in my 12th house. The 12th house is the last house of the zodiac. So it's kind of about wrapping up loose ends, or I would say the coup de grace, if you will, about something in life. Like if something has been kind of dragging along, this could pull the plug on it. And I feel like there's a karmic connection to that. It's like timing is everything. This is the right time for something to end, to resolve itself. Maybe there's a sense of closure in all of this, but there might be definitely a sense that something is coming to an end in a big way because, at every full moon, something could be coming to an end, but we're talking about the 12th house, and that's the end of an old cycle. And you're about to embark on a new cycle when you have the full moon in your sign in January. So this could be some kind of psychic hit that you get, psychic download. 12th house can be very psychic. It can come in the dream state, which is 12th house, like some kind of prophetic or prophecy that is important for you to know and to heed. You could be ending a bad habit, anything that is self-destructive, which connects to the 12th house. On the 10th, Neptune goes direct at 29 degrees of Pisces, fellow water sign, in your 9th house. Cancers have been experiencing some disillusionment connected to their faith. And by the way, even if that's true, it might be a case of not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. I was saying to another sign when there was a similar type of transit that one of the things that people tend to do is be either or, black and white. If something isn't exactly as it should be, if there's some scandal, they belong to some kind of church or they belong to a spiritual, maybe some sort of Eastern religion. It doesn't have to be Christianity or Judaism or something like that, or Islam. It could be the mystical sects of those or something else. But, I used an example of a couple of organizations that I attended spiritual workshops and, classes, and that were rocked by scandal, sometimes from things that had happened decades earlier that really cut into their membership, at least for one organization that I can think of, to the point where they shut down their local chapter because they were not getting that attendance. I don't think the whole organization shut down, but they did. Were, close to where I live. And that's just how it is. People are less tolerant of those kinds of behaviors these days. But and it doesn't have to be something that's that widespread. It could be that you saw a different side of someone that you maybe had idealized if you have a spiritual teacher or something. And the temptation is to say, screw this religion thing or screw this spirituality thing, which is just, being very extreme. And so when Neptune goes direct, it's like getting your idealism back and getting your innocence back. Because then you're able to approach this area of life with fresh eyes. It could also be with something connected to like a foreign country. Maybe you went on a trip or you thought you were going to retire or move to a certain country. You went to check it out and it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, and it disillusioned you. And you kind of like said, well, there goes that dream. And then you thought to yourself, wait a second, I can still live abroad. I can just go to a different country. Or maybe I was in an area, maybe I should research another part of that country. Maybe I didn't do my research. So yeah, it could be things like that. On the 11th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius. So we're out of the retrograde, the literal retrograde. Mercury is direct, but we're still in the post shadow period until the 17th. But Mercury is going back into the sign that it retrograded in, so we're making some progress here. For you, again, this is that sixth house, so you have a lot of sixth house. I said house. You have the sun there too because it is in Sag. Sixth house. If you're looking for employment, you may be doubling down now. Although, oh, and by the way, speaking of doubling down, Mars is in November, is currently in Sagittarius and will remain in Sag through mid-December. So you have Mars in that sixth house. Yes, Mars could be something very, inharmonious in the workplace. So you have Venus there. So that's good. That counters Mars. And Mars, was doing its thing in November. So when Venus enters on November 30th, it could kind of put things in balance a little bit more, which might be a relief. But when Mercury is in the sixth house, why can't I say sixth house? You may be speaking to someone in the workplace, like maybe it's an employer if you're in between jobs. I mean, it seems like a weird time to be looking for work during the holiday season, but stranger things have happened, I suppose. And you do have this influence, so whether it's strange or not, you might be doing it. But you may just be working overtime. Of course, if this is holidays, depending on what you do, it might require more effort from you or like hours. But you have the stamina to be able to accommodate them, your workplace. On the 15th, oh, and also Mercury could be like negotiating something in the workplace. So it makes me think of like salary, and you have Venus in that sector. So it could be something along those lines. Maybe since Mercury was retrograding there initially, maybe there was some breakdowns in communication or misunderstandings regarding this issue, and now they're getting resolved. On the 15th, Mars goes into Capricorn, your opposite sign. Opposite house is the seventh house, committed partnership, Mars. On the more challenging side, it could be some sort of conflict arising. It could be as simple as differences of opinion about something, but maybe you both getting going. You could simply be more active with one another. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But I mean, even, sex is physical, but I mean, even like, exercising together or something like that. If the seventh house can be legal affairs, Mars could be like, take them to the cleaners, type of a mentality or behavior. So it could be very aggressive with a legal matter, or just maybe very angry about it or passionate about it. And I think that sometimes when people get embroiled in legal matters, that there is a slight bit of vindictiveness that is, pushing them to do it, because they may feel like, well, if he cheated on me, I can't control that, and it already happened, but what I can do is I can take him to the cleaners and make him pay, literally. On the 19th, we have a new moon at 28 degrees of Sagittarius in that sixth house. And that could definitely be a new job if you have been, talking to employers and putting in your, sending your resumes or applications. And maybe you're even starting the job at that time. Set your intentions if you're looking for new work or if you're looking for a new health regimen. Maybe you want to be consistent with some practice of yours. On the 21st, the sun goes into Capricorn, and that's the solstice time. Um, for those in the northern hemisphere, this is the time when the sun is at its nadir. Is that how you say it? Its lowest point, and it's going to rise. And it's a very, it's symbolic with this idea of like maybe the phoenix rising from the ashes, or maybe like it's all up from here, like reaching the bottom and then it's all up from here. On the 24th, Venus goes into Capricorn as well. So you have these planets in the seventh house. It's all about cooperation. It can be, of course, marital union. What else? The seventh house can be public relations. Venus there can make you quite charming, your public reputation. And for some people, if you're like a library clerk, it might not really be all that important. But if you're in social media, or if you're a business owner that wants to gain a following, this may come in handy. But certainly there could be harmony with your relationship with a significant other. Now that Venus has entered here after Mars, it could be getting money from some kind of legal matter. Alrighty then, Cancer, I hope that this resonated and that you're looking forward to December. If you would like a private reading, please check my website for all the different offerings that I have, including package deals that are discounted in price, but full-length readings in their own right. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.